Don't overlook your dimes. Coins from 1975, 1990, 2018, and even 2023 could be worth way more than face value if you find rare errors or special conditions. Check your pocket change. You might be holding a hidden treasure. The 1975 one-dime coin has a story unlike most other coins in American history. On the surface, the Roosevelt dime has been a familiar presence in American pockets and purses for decades, with its straightforward design honoring the 32nd president on the obverse and a torch flanked by an olive branch and oak branch on the reverse. By 1975, the dime had been circulating for nearly 3 decades, and to most people it was nothing more than 10 cents. But to coin collectors, the 1975 dime is one of the most fascinating chapters in numismatics, a chapter that has left even seasoned experts amazed because of its incredible rarity, minting history, and the staggering values these coins can bring today. While the typical dime from that year is nowhere to be found in circulation because of how the mint handled production, the rarest survivors of 1975 carry values that can soar between $55,000 and $130,000, a range that makes this coin one of the most sought after in modern numismatics. To understand the 1975 dime, you need to look at the time period. The Roosevelt dime was first issued in 1946, 1 year after Franklin D. Roosevelt's death, honoring him not only as a president but also for his role in founding the March of Dimes to fight polio. By 1975, the design had remained unchanged, with John R. Sinnock's portrait of Roosevelt still in use. However, something unusual was happening in 1975 when it came to U.S. coinage. The country was preparing for its bicentennial celebration, and special coinage was being struck to honor 200 years of American independence. In 1975 and 1976, all quarters, half dollars, and dollars bore the dual date 1776 to 1976, and no coins of those denominations carried the single date 1975. But for dimes, cents, and nickels, the usual date of 1975 remained. Where the story takes an extraordinary turn is in the proof coinage. Proof coins are struck with special care for collectors, often with mirrored surfaces and sharp details. In 1975, proof sets were being made at the San Francisco Mint, each containing a 1-cent coin, a nickel, a dime, a quarter, a half dollar, and a dollar. On the dime in these proof sets should have been the S Mint mark, identifying San Francisco as the place of origin. But a handful of these dimes were struck without the mint mark, leaving the date 1975 with no letter beneath it. These are the famous 1975 no-S proof dimes, and they are some of the rarest coins in modern American history. Only a tiny number of these 1975 no-S dimes are known to exist, and because proof coins are made in very small quantities compared to circulation coins, the error went unnoticed until collectors discovered it in proof sets. Once discovered, the rarity became instantly recognized, and the coin's reputation grew quickly. Today, those very few surviving examples have become treasures, and whenever one comes to auction, it attracts international attention. It is these dimes that command jaw-dropping prices, with values ranging between $55,000 and $130,000 depending on condition, grade, and the intensity of collector competition. The reason the no-S dime exists is tied to how mint marks were added to coins during this period. In the 1970s, mint marks were still being hand-punched onto dies. That meant human error could result in a mint mark being forgotten or left off entirely. If that die was then used to strike proof coins, an entire small run of coins would come out without the expected S. These accidents were supposed to be caught during quality control, but in the case of the 1975 proof dime, some slipped out and into the hands of collectors. For collectors, the thrill of this coin is not only in its rarity but in its symbolism. It represents the fallibility of the minting process, the human touch in what many assume to be a flawless mechanical system. It also carries the allure of the hunt. Even though the number of known examples is minuscule, the idea that one could potentially exist in an old proof set sitting in a drawer or safe deposit box continues to inspire collectors to search. Auction history provides some of the most compelling proof of this coin's extraordinary value. When a 1975 no-S proof dime appears on the market, it does not go quietly. Bidding is fierce, and collectors with deep pockets compete to own one of the rarest modern American coins. Over the years, prices realized for these coins have consistently reinforced their status as legends. Some examples have sold in the lower end of that range, around $55,000, while others, in superb condition and with great provenance, have pushed close to or even beyond the $130,000 mark. Outside of the no-S-proof variety, 1,975 dimes in general are common and circulated heavily. Most people alive during that time probably had a pocketful of them at one point or another, and they spent them without a second thought. These regular circulation strikes are only worth face value unless preserved in mint condition, where they might bring a few dollars to collectors seeking high-grade registry set coins. But it is the extraordinary rarity of the no-S-proof dime that elevates 1975 from just another year in the series to one of the most memorable. What makes the 1975 no-S dime even more special is how it fits into a larger pattern of mint mark errors in proof coinage of the era. In 1968, the San Francisco Mint began striking all proof coins. In the years that followed, there were several rare mistakes where mint marks were omitted, including the 1968 no-S Roosevelt Dime, the 1970 no-S Roosevelt Dime, the 1971 no-S Jefferson Nickel, and the 1975 no-S Roosevelt Dime. Each of these coins is incredibly rare, but the 1975 no-S dime is the most famous and one of the most valuable of them all. For collectors who own one, it is not just a coin but a centerpiece of their collection, something that tells a story about American minting history, human error, and the passion of numismatics. For those who don't own one, it remains a dream coin, a symbol of what could be found, a reminder that treasures still exist in unexpected places. The value range of $55,000 to $130,000 makes the 1975 no-S dime one of those coins that captures attention even from people who aren't coin collectors. The idea that a dime, something worth 10 cents in everyday life, could instead be worth more than the cost of a luxury car or even a small house is incredible. It creates curiosity, sparks conversations, and adds to the cultural mystique of rare coins. But at the heart of it, the 1975 dime story is about the unexpected. A small oversight at the mint led to one of the rarest coins of the modern era. Collectors who stumbled upon these coins, often without realizing what they had at first, were holding a fortune in their hands. Stories like these keep the world of numismatics alive with excitement. They remind us that history, art, economics, and luck can all come together in a single coin. So, when talking about the 1975 dime, it is important to remember that not all coins from that year are equal. Most are simply coins that passed from hand to hand, buying coffee, groceries, or newspapers. But a select few, the rare no-S proof dimes, have become icons worth tens of thousands, even over $100,000. These are the coins that make headlines, inspire collectors, and prove that sometimes, even the smallest coin can carry the biggest story. The next time you hear someone say a dime isn't worth much, think of the 1975 no-S proof dime. Think of the values ranging from $55,000 to $130,000. Think of the collectors who have dedicated their lives to searching for coins like this. And remember that in the world of coins, ordinary objects can become extraordinary treasures in the blink of an eye. The U.S. 1991 dime coin is a fascinating piece of modern American currency that at first feels so ordinary, yet under closer examination it becomes a symbol of hidden value, surprising errors, and collector demand that can transform a coin worth just 10 cents into one worth tens of thousands of dollars. Millions of these coins were struck in 1990, and they've passed through countless hands since then. Buying candy, fueling vending machines, or piling up in jars of loose change. To the average person, it's simply another Roosevelt dime, a small silver-colored coin that rarely gets a second glance. But for collectors and numismatists, the 1990 dime is full of possibilities. With some examples valued between $48,000 and $120,000, this coin shows us how much hidden treasure can still exist in everyday change. The Roosevelt dime design has been in circulation since 1946, introduced as a tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death in 1945. His portrait, designed by John R. Sinek, graces the obverse, while the reverse features a torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. By 1990, the design was already well established and familiar, but the year is remembered for several reasons in coin collecting circles. While billions of coins were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and proofs at the San Francisco Mint, Collectors have since uncovered fascinating error coins and rare high-grade examples that dramatically elevate the dime's value. One of the most famous stories surrounding the 1990 dime involves the rare no-S proof coin. Proof coins are specially struck with polished dies and planchets to create sharp, detailed designs and mirror-like surfaces. In 1990, the San Francisco Mint produced proof sets, which should have included dimes with the S mint mark. However, a small number of dimes were struck without the mint mark, creating the rare no-S variety. These coins are among the most sought-after modern errors, with collectors paying extraordinary amounts for them. In fact, authenticated examples in top condition have sold for prices well within that $48,000 to $120,000 range, cementing the 1990 dime as one of the most valuable modern-era coins. Errors aren't the only reason the 1990 dime can be worth so much. Condition plays a huge role in determining value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a flawless coin. The vast majority of 1990 dimes that you'll find in circulation are heavily worn, scratched, or otherwise damaged, making them worth only face value. But an uncirculated dime in mint state condition, especially at the MS-68 or higher level, is exceptionally rare. These coins stand out because of their sharp strikes, original luster, and absence of blemishes. For collectors chasing the finest known examples, even a modern coin like the 1990 dime can fetch huge sums at auction. Other minting errors from this year also spark excitement. Off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned with the planchet, can range from slight shifts to dramatic misalignments that leave much of the design missing. The more dramatic the error, the higher the value, especially if the date is fully visible. Double strike errors, where the coin is struck more than once in slightly different positions, are also highly collectible. A 1990 dime showing such an error in pristine condition could easily climb into the tens of thousands at auction. Clipped planchets represent another fascinating type of error. These occur when the blank used to strike the coin is cut improperly, leaving part of the coin's edge missing. These clips can be curved or straight, and when combined with a high grade, they make for rare and valuable finds. Off-metal errors, where a dime is struck on the wrong planchet, are even more dramatic. For example, a dime struck on a penny or foreign coin planchet creates a piece that looks strange and unique, instantly grabbing the attention of advanced collectors. These kinds of errors are rare and valuable, often helping coins from 1990 achieve the upper end of that $48,000 to $120,000 range. The no-S proof dime is especially fascinating because it connects to a larger story in modern U.S. coinage. Similar no-S varieties have appeared in other years, such as 1968, 1970, 1975, and 1983, always causing a stir in the collecting world. These mistakes are believed to occur when a die is prepared without the mint mark and then mistakenly used in production. Because proof coins are intended for collectors, the absence of a mint mark is quickly noticed, and only a very small number usually escape into the market. That scarcity is what makes the 1990 no-S dime so valuable. It's not just an error, it's a coin that shouldn't exist, and yet it does, and that paradox is what drives collectors to pay enormous prices for it. Auction houses have documented incredible results for these coins. One 1990 no-S proof dime in top condition sold for over $40,000 years ago, and since then values have only risen. As awareness of the rarity spread, collectors began competing aggressively whenever one appeared for sale, pushing prices higher. Today, depending on the grade and condition, these coins are easily valued in that $48,000 to $120,000 range, especially if certified by a leading grading service like PCGS or NGC. For everyday collectors, the story of the 1990 dime is a reminder of the thrill of the hunt. Even though most of these coins are common and worth little more than face value, there's always the chance that a rare error, variety, or pristine specimen could surface in an unexpected place. Stories circulate of people discovering no-S proof coins in inherited proof sets, or uncovering unusual minting errors in rolls of dimes from the bank. These stories fuel the imagination and keep the hobby alive, showing that great finds can come from the most ordinary sources. The 1990 dime also highlights the importance of close examination. To the naked eye, a dime might look ordinary, but under magnification subtle details reveal themselves. A missing mint mark, slight doubling in the design, or an unusual edge shape could be the key to discovering a rarity. For collectors, patience and attention to detail often pay off in the most rewarding ways. In a broader sense, coins like the 1990 dime connect us to American history and culture. Franklin D. Roosevelt remains one of the most significant presidents in U.S. history, and his portrait has now been on the dime for nearly 8 decades. Holding a 1990 dime means holding a piece of that tradition, but for collectors it's also a chance to hold something far more valuable than most people ever realize. The fact that one small coin can be worth $48,000 to $120,000 makes every pocketful of change feel like a mystery waiting to be solved. The role of grading services cannot be overstated when it comes to coins like these. Collectors and investors rely on trusted organizations such as PCGS and NGC to authenticate and grade coins. A 1990 NOS proof dime certified as PR69 Deep Cameo, for example, commands far more money than one uncertified, because buyers trust the grade and authenticity. That trust fuels the market and makes rare coins such hot commodities whenever they appear at auction. Collectors also know that values can fluctuate depending on market trends, collector demand, and the discovery of new examples. For coins like the 1990 dime, where the known population of rare varieties is small, even a single new discovery can make headlines. Every time one of these dimes surfaces, it adds another chapter to the story and brings more attention to the series. When we look back at modern coinage, the 1990 dime stands as proof that not all treasures come from centuries ago. Even a coin minted just a few decades ago can achieve legendary status. It doesn't take gold or silver content to make a coin valuable. It takes rarity, condition, and collector demand. The 1990 dime has all of those elements, which is why it has become one of the standout coins of the late 20th century. For anyone who loves coin collecting, the lesson is clear. Never overlook a coin just because it seems too modern or too common. The next dime you examine might be ordinary, or it might be the one that changes everything. And in the case of the 1990 dime, it could be worth between $48,000 and $120,000, a life-changing discovery hiding in plain sight. The 2018 United States dime might look like just another modern coin you see every day in your change. Small, light, and so familiar, it's one of those coins most people barely notice as they pass it across the counter or toss it into a jar at home. But hidden among the billions of 2018 Roosevelt dimes minted are rare error pieces that can transform a coin worth just 10 cents into a numismatic treasure valued between $33,000 and $96,000. That's the kind of transformation that captures the imagination of collectors and makes everyone who hears about it start to wonder if the next dime they handle could be the one. The Roosevelt dime has a long history in U.S. coinage. First issued in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, it has remained in production ever since. Its obverse design features the profile of Roosevelt facing left, with the word Liberty on the left margin, the motto "In God We Trust" below his chin, and the date to the right. On the reverse is the torch flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. For 2018, the design continued as it had for decades, with coins struck primarily in copper-nickel clad at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and with proof coins produced at the San Francisco mint. What sets the 2018 dime apart for collectors are not the standard issues, but the rare errors and varieties that slipped through the minting process. Errors are anomalies caused by mistakes during production, and while most are caught and destroyed at the mint, a few escape into circulation. These are the treasures collectors hunt for, because they combine rarity, visual interest, and the excitement of discovery. In the case of the 2018 dime, those errors are what elevate its value into the astonishing range of $33,000 to $96,000 when authenticated and preserved in top condition. One of the most desirable errors on the 2018 dime is the double die. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or impressed multiple times at slightly different angles, resulting in doubling of the design. On the 2018 dime, doubling has been reported on the motto "In God We Trust," the date, and even the lettering on the reverse. Collectors prize double dies because they create dramatic visual differences, and bold examples are rare. When such a coin also grades in mint state condition, free of wear and with its original luster intact, It becomes a prime candidate to reach values at the higher end of that $33,000 to $96,000 spectrum. Off-center strikes are another type of error that makes 2018 dimes especially intriguing. In this error, the coin blank isn't seated correctly in the press, causing the design to be stamped off balance. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing, replaced by a blank crescent of metal. Collectors particularly value off-center dimes where the date remains fully visible, since it allows the coin to be clearly identified. Well-struck off-center errors with minimal wear can sell for thousands, and when found on a modern issue like the 2018 dime, they attract even more attention due to their rarity. Broad strikes are yet another possibility. In a broad strike error, the collar that normally keeps the coin's edges contained fails, and the metal spreads outward during striking. The coin appears wider and flatter, often missing its reeded edge. For the 2018 dime, broad strike errors in mint condition are highly sought after, as they provide a strikingly different appearance while still retaining all key design elements. Clipped planchets, while less common, are another fascinating error found on some modern dimes. These occur when the blank metal discs used to strike coins are cut too closely to one another, leaving a distinctive crescent-shaped clip on the edge of the coin. A 2018 dime with this type of error is immediately recognizable, and when authenticated and well-preserved, such coins are considered rare collectibles worth well beyond face value. Even more dramatic are wrong planchet strikes, when a coin design is struck on the wrong type of blank. For example, a dime struck on a planchet intended for a cent, nickel, or even a foreign coin would instantly become a prized rarity. These off-metal errors are among the rarest finds and can propel a 2018 dime into the upper tiers of that $33,000 to $96,000 valuation range. Condition is absolutely critical in determining value. Most 2018 dimes entered circulation quickly, acquiring scratches, dings, and discoloration from everyday use. Only a small fraction survived in pristine condition, either preserved in mint rolls, sets, or by careful collectors. Coins graded mint state 67 or higher by professional services such as PCGS or NGC stand out as exceptional examples. Combine such a grade with a dramatic error, and you have the recipe for a coin that collectors will fight for at auction. Auction records for modern dimes prove this. Collectors have paid astonishing sums for coins that might otherwise go unnoticed, simply because they possess both rarity and condition. For the 2018 dime, the potential value of $33,000 to $96,000 isn't hypothetical. It's grounded in the real-world enthusiasm and competitive bidding that rare errors generate. The excitement of owning something so unique, and the bragging rights that come with discovering it, fuel intense demand. The fascination with the dime goes beyond its small size. As a denomination, it represents a long tradition in American coinage. Its enduring design and wide circulation make it one of the most familiar coins in America, yet its role in everyday commerce makes the survival of errors all the more remarkable. The 2018 dime is not a coin people expected to be rare or valuable, and that element of surprise makes the error varieties even more engaging for collectors. For the casual coin hunter, the lesson is simple. Don't dismiss any coin without a closer look. A dime minted in 2018 could easily be sitting in your change, overlooked and unappreciated, yet secretly worth tens of thousands of dollars. Examine the details closely. Study the date, the motto, the edges, and the strike. Look for signs of doubling, off-center impressions, or unusual shapes. Even the smallest anomaly could be the key to unlocking a fortune. For those who believe they've found something special, authentication is the next step. Professional grading and encapsulation not only verify the authenticity of the error but also assign a condition grade that directly impacts the coin's market value. Collectors are far more willing to pay top prices for certified coins, knowing they are genuine and protected. The story of the 2018 dime reinforces the magic of coin collecting. The idea that extraordinary value can be hidden in the most ordinary of objects. A coin that most people ignore could, under the right circumstances, sell for as much as $96,000. That potential keeps collectors searching, keeps them learning, and keeps the hobby alive with passion and discovery. So the next time you handle a 2018 dime, don't just pass it along without a glance. Take a closer look at its details, hold it to the light, and study its surfaces. Because among the billions of ordinary examples are a rare few that could change everything, coins that transform from a simple 10-cent piece into a life-changing treasure worth between $33,000 and $96,000. That's the true allure of coin collecting. The possibility that the smallest, most overlooked coin in your pocket could turn out to be the rarest prize of all. The US 2023 one-dime coin may seem like nothing special at first glance. Just another Roosevelt dime minted in the billions and passed from hand to hand without a second thought. But the truth is that even this modern dime, struck so recently, carries incredible stories of value, error, and opportunity. Hidden within those countless coins are a few that have made collectors stop in their tracks. And those rare finds have been valued at astonishing amounts, with certain 2023 dimes reaching between $28,000 and $76,000. It's hard to believe that something as small and ordinary as a 10-cent piece can hold that kind of fortune, but in the world of coin collecting, the smallest mistakes often become the biggest treasures. The 2023 dime continues the design tradition that has endured since 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The obverse features his profile, designed by John R. Sinek, a tribute to Roosevelt's legacy and leadership, especially through the Great Depression and World War II. The reverse carries the iconic torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. Even though the design has remained largely unchanged for decades, each New Year's issue of the dime carries its own significance, and 2023 is no exception. What makes the 2023 dime stand out is not its massive mintage or its common circulation use, but the rare errors and exceptional conditions that turn an everyday coin into a collector's dream. Billions of dimes pour out of the Philadelphia and Denver mints every year, with special proof strikes produced at the San Francisco Mint for collectors. Most of these dimes are worth their face value of 10 cents. But when errors occur, double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or off-metal issues, suddenly that tiny piece of change is no longer ordinary. It becomes a rarity, one of only a handful in existence, and collectors are willing to pay thousands to add such coins to their collections. One of the most sought-after errors in the 2023 dime is the double die. This happens when the hub strikes the die multiple times in slightly different positions, creating visible doubling on the finished coin. Collectors examining 2023 dimes have already reported doubling on areas like the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and even the date. Strong double dies that can be seen without magnification are especially valuable, and in pristine condition they can push a 2023 dime far beyond its face value. If a double die dime from this year appears in a top mint state grade, its value can easily climb into the $28,000 to $76,000 range, making it one of the most exciting finds of modern coinage. Another type of error that has been seen in modern dimes and is highly anticipated in 2023 examples is the off-center strike. This error occurs when the blank planchet is not properly seated in the coin press, resulting in part of the design being missing. Off-center errors can range from subtle shifts to extreme misalignments where half the design is absent. For 2023 dimes, those with dramatic off-center strikes that still show the date and mint mark are particularly desirable. Such coins are visually striking, unmistakable errors that appeal to collectors at every level. Clipped planchet errors also draw significant attention. A clipped planchet happens when the blank metal disc punched out to make a coin overlaps an area where another blank has already been cut, leaving a crescent-shaped or irregular edge. On a 2023 dime, this error would stand out immediately, and coins with clean, obvious clips are always in high demand. Double or triple clips are even rarer, raising the coin's value dramatically. Then there are off-metal errors, which are among the rarest and most valuable mistakes a coin can have. If a 2023 dime were struck on the wrong type of planchet, such as one intended for a cent, a nickel, or even a foreign coin, the result would be an extraordinary rarity. The wrong planchet would alter the weight, size, and sometimes the color of the coin. These mistakes almost never escape the mint, but when they do, collectors recognize them as some of the most exciting errors in the hobby. A confirmed 2023 dime struck on the wrong planchet would be the kind of coin that easily sells for tens of thousands of dollars, pushing toward that top figure of $76,000. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are another area where unusual varieties and errors can arise. Proof coins are made using special dies and planchets, giving them sharp details and mirror-like finishes. While most proof coins are flawless, occasionally a proof dime will be struck with doubling, plating issues, or even a strike-through error where foreign material leaves an imprint on the surface. These rare mistakes stand out even more against the perfection of proof coins, and their value skyrockets as a result. Grading is critical in determining the value of a 2023 dime. Most circulated coins are worth only face value, but uncirculated coins in higher mint state grades are the ones collectors chase. At grades like MS67 and above, the rarity increases significantly, and at MS69 or MS70, where the coin appears nearly flawless, values soar. A 2023 dime with a dramatic error in MS69 could be exactly the kind of coin to sell for between $28,000 and $76,000. Recent auctions have shown just how much demand exists for modern error coins. Collectors are increasingly paying premium prices for unusual modern errors, and the 2023 dime is no exception. Stories of coins discovered in pocket change or bank rolls that later sold for thousands capture the imagination of both seasoned collectors and newcomers. Every time a coin like this surfaces, it reminds people that valuable treasures can still be hiding in everyday transactions. What makes the 2023 dime particularly fascinating is that it represents a moment in current history. Unlike older coins that have passed through generations, this dime is still new, still actively circulating, and still available to anyone who looks closely enough. That makes it one of the most accessible yet potentially rewarding coins out there. Collectors often say that the thrill of searching modern coins is not just in the possibility of finding something valuable, but in being part of the ongoing story of American coinage. For anyone interested in discovering one of these valuable 2023 dimes, the key is careful examination. A magnifying glass or microscope can reveal doubling. Weighing the coin can detect off-metal strikes. Checking the rims can reveal off-center strikes or clipped planchets. Patience and attention to detail are essential, and many collectors have turned this process into both a hobby and a hunt. If you do find what you believe is a rare 2023 dime, the next step is to have it authenticated and graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. These professional grading companies confirm whether an error is genuine and assign a grade that reflects its condition. A certified coin always sells for more than one that isn't certified, and buyers have far more confidence when the coin's rarity has been verified. This step is crucial if you hope to reach that high-end value of $28,000 to $76,000. The 2023 dime proves that even in today's world, where coin production is precise and highly mechanized, rare mistakes can still happen. And when they do, they turn the most ordinary coin into something extraordinary. Whether it's a double die, an off-center strike, a clipped planchet, or an off-metal rarity, these errors transform the dime from pocket change into a small but powerful piece of history worth a fortune. So the next time you receive a dime in your change, take a closer look. You may be holding a coin that could change your life. With certain 2023 dimes already valued between $28,000 and $76,000, the opportunity is real. The challenge is to recognize the treasure when you see it.